Welcome back, everybody. Slim Slam and the Bandwagon fan. And week 1 of NFL action is almost in the books on the night of recording. But before all that action, I'm NFL.
I'm NFL.
I'm Slim. He's slamming to my left. That is the Bandwagon fan. As always, folks, proudly brought to you by the Jersey Cartel on Facebook and or JRV Electrical for all your electrical needs.
And
Boys,
or's an interesting one.
Yeah, and or. I'm just keeping it fresh.
Okay.
I'm just keeping it fresh. But boys, how are we?
I'm good, NFL. How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. You, Schnars?
Mate, I'm great, NFL.
This is great content. Hey, week 1, as I mentioned off the top, is in the books, kind of. On the night of recording, Baltimore still have to go into Las Vegas tomorrow morning for us. However, we are going to get out in front of it here and touch on the results that have come to pass so far. Obviously, the tipping was a big, hotly contested market going into the weekend's action, and me and Slammer have come out on 9 and Schnazi on an 8 as it stands. So that's
You'll take that.
you'll take that. It's a strong start. It's above 500. So
Yep. I was pretty concerned, Blaze. I honestly thought with all the amount of upsets, I thought you might have 15.
yeah, I just missed a couple, unfortunately, but almost pulled off the Cinderella start. But I'm in the hunt early, which is what counts. But the NFL action started with a bang, I guess, on the Thursday night. Tampa Bay hosting Dallas, and Dallas really putting up much more of a fight, I think, than we all expected, I think it's fair to say.
Well, if Dallas's defense showed up on that final drive, they may have won the game.
Yeah.
Which is...
It's really that simple, isn't it?
It bodes well for Dallas this season, right? Like, we weren't hot on them, and Slammer last week quite rightly called out that 8 of the 10 best players are playing for Tampa. I still think that holds true, but if what I take away from that game is we undervalued Dak slightly. He absolutely balled out. And
Definitely.
My favourite player, the CD player, mate, all those MP3s, he was running wild, and he looks like in his sophomore season that him and the connection that he's going to have with Dak is going to pose a lot of trouble for defenses.
In that offense, in a combination with Amari and Gallup, and even Dalton Schultz had a really strong game as well.
Yeah, that's true, Blaze. I mean, I think Gallup's done an injury.
He was injured.
He's going to miss 3 or 4. The run game was a bit of a worry for Dallas.
Yes,
there was
definitely.
absolutely nothing.
Picked off where it finished last year, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is concerning.
Did nothing. I think Dak's numbers get a little bit inflated due to the fact that they were playing from behind the whole game.
Yeah.
And really, they didn't have an option to run the ball whether they wanted to or not. Nobody really ran the ball at all, though. Nobody. I think the highest rusher had 36 yards, and that was Zeke.
Yeah.
So, I mean, interesting game. Probably got closer. The score probably flatters Dallas a little bit with a couple of interceptions and a couple of the fumble late that Godwin had.
Yeah.
Both fumbles, admittedly. One of them was a bit more of a clear drop than the other one. The other one, he was looking over his left shoulder, then he looked over his right, and there it was, and he dropped it. And there was another one, too, that would have been a walk-in touchdown that he dropped, which absolutely killed our guarantee, which we'll get to later. But it kept Dallas in the game. Dallas went down the other end, kicked that field goal, got themselves in front, and Tom Brady just had that look in his eyes. The camera panned to him. It was about 2 minutes to go, and he just had that look, and he's like, all right, boys, let's go.
And you knew from there what was going to happen.
How confident do you reckon Dallas fans were with a minute and a half left on the clock?
I had zero confidence.
Yeah, I had like no doubt that I was getting that tip right.
You know what was kind of scary as an objective kind of observer was Tom and Gronk really started to look like they were winding the clock back big time.
I concur, Blaze. Do you like that?
Yeah. Well, you're spending too much time with me, apparently.
Oh, I guess so. But, yes, I agree massively. He looked like a very different player than what I've seen in the last 2 and a bit years. He looked like the guy from the Super Bowl that showed up out of nowhere.
8 catches, 90 yards, 2 tuds.
Yeah.
And really key catches too, like in really important situations. I mean, this game was pretty close all day.
His body just looks a lot better.
He looks fit.
Like he's only like 30 or something. Like he's not that old. They
got OJ Howard too, and Cam Brate. So they've got so much depth at tight end.
And he's probably from game 1, he was clearly the best tight end they had.
Yeah, he's number one.
He was just running with so much more freedom than he has in the last 4 or 5 years.
He sort of looked how I expected him to look last season. Yeah. So having that full season, I've come back fit and fresh. Yeah. I thought that's how he'd look, but that's how he looked tonight. So maybe last season just sort of gave him the fitness and that football toughness.
Sort of built it up a little bit and didn't make him do too much.
But scary, like AJ...
AB.
Yes, too.
Turned the clock back big time too. Like, genuinely would have thought you were watching a game from 2016 with the way that Tampa were playing. I do have a concern, though, on Tampa, and it was their secondary.
Yeah, especially with the injury to Murphy Bunting.
Yeah, exactly right. That was a nasty break of the arm as well, I believe.
Yeah, just got an elbow.
Yeah, it was nasty hours. But that is the concern, right? Their secondary. We know how good their linebacker room is. We know how good they are at rushing the ball. But
it's just, it probably seems to me that cornerback is the least depth position in the entire NFL. Like the amount of great ones, the drop off between great and then good
And
is
then Jeff
severe.
Okudah.
Yeah, it just
He
seems
got
severe.
absolutely reamed by his coach. If
we'll
you
get
saw
to that,
that
we'll
clip.
get to that.
Far out.
But yeah, so I agree. Massive issue there for Tampa Bay.
I mean, they would have liked to have a more resounding win week 1, I think, against Dallas. But it just remains to be seen. I think I'm kind of with you, Schnazzy. I thought Dak really played well. I thought some of his throws were smart, and he fit balls in holes that probably weren't really there. And even his
Wasn't
interception,
afraid to run.
even his interception was a drop from CD that could have been caught. That was kind of unlucky. So
After what I saw today it felt like they are a little bit better than maybe the rest of the NFC East at the moment. If they play like that every game.
yeah, that's probably a fair assessment.
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
They were good. They were serviceable. Service was probably a good word for it, if I don't say so
I
myself.
think they were good.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. Jacksonville and Houston. So for tonight, boys and girls and sports fans around the world, we are going to work our way down the list, of the fixture list, I guess you'd call it. So Jacksonville and Houston is the next game off the rank. I'm
Massive
struggling a
upset.
little bit there, but massive upset.
We had three of us took Jacksonville. And unfortunately, the way that turned out for Trevor in his first game was a 21-37 loss.
It's quite a surprise, wasn't it? Because we really just...
One touchdown in junk time as well. So it was actually worse than that.
Even now, I'm struggling to understand how Houston can put up 37 points with what they've got.
I watched the highlights plays. They were actually okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Led by Tyrod.
Tyrod was quite good too.
He was in career best form. He's going to get his lung punctured next week.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
He's looking in dark corners for that team doctor.
I watched a 9-minute video of every one of Trevor's throws. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. You had a good one before. He had 3 interceptions.
So 3 interceptions he threw on his opening night debut.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning also threw 3 on his opening night debut.
We'll cop that.
And then Andrew Luck 3 on opening night debut. Yeah. So, good things come in threes, and I reckon we might have the third thing right there.
There you go.
We're big fans of Trevor at this test.
Absolutely.
No one would ever suggest you'd put a line through him because he lost week 1 to Houston.
No.
However, it was an upset, and I think Houston surprised, pretty much probably the entire NFL community.
I will say, last year, if we recall back to week 1, Jacksonville won opening week, and we were like, oh, this is weird, and they proceeded to lose every game from there.
This is
pick
true.
up one more win and get Trevor.
Yeah.
If you're a Houston fan out there, I wouldn't be reading too much.
Yes. Don't worry. Reckon you're still getting a top 5 pick.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably a very, very safe bit. Moving on.
Yep.
Chargers, Washington.
Yeah, Chargers at Washington. Probably one of the better games of the weekend so far. The Chargers do get the job done in the end in a tightly contested contest, but Herbert just... I think when it counted, he made some really tough throws, really good, strong throws. One to Mike Williams for a touchdown.
Want to give the score there?
Yeah, why not? I can't actually read it
20
properly.
to 16.
20 to 16, yes.
20 to 16.
Long-sided, short-sided.
Yeah, it hurts, man.
It was a
medium range.
bit of a defensive battle. I think LA actually did quite well to win this game in Washington. That front seven is absolutely no joke, as we've spoken about before. I think going from one side of the country to the other and getting that win in week 1, I reckon you'd be absolutely wrapped on the flight home.
I think so.
Yeah, Chargers fans deserve to be wrapped after that game too.
All 6 of them.
I was just going to say me and my brother, but yeah, that's generous. We'll give him 6.
Is a good number.
Look, Chargers played well. We did what we all tipped them. We all thought they were going to win, but we always thought it was going to be a tough game up against Washington's front. Good to see Derwin James back.
Yep. Got through a game unscathed.
Got through his game unscathed, and he looked like he hadn't really missed too much of a beat.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at that. See you later.
See you later, Michigan helmet.
Come back, Tom. Thank you. So now it's probably all we have to say on that game for the minute.
Absolutely.
Just lastly, Fitz has done a hip or something. We'll miss quite a few weeks.
Oh, yeah. You know how last week I was
Heineke's
saying Heineke?
Yeah.
And instead of like Henny?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
You
where
were
I got
getting
confused.
your wires crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many Chads, too many Heinekes, too many Hennekes.
I mean, a lot of us thought Heineke should be the quarterback going into the season.
Yeah, I'm actually
after the way-
interested to see what happens now.
So it's going to be a watch. It's going
Fitz
to be a
might
watch.
not get his job back.
No, he might not.
Oh,
I mean, heaven
shame if
forbid
that happened to Fitz again.
heaven forbid he ends up on another side.
Do you know he wakes up every day, he signs for a new team and goes, when's Groundhog Day coming?
Yeah.
He wakes up and looks, nah, not today.
His agent pops up on his phone. He's like,
He's like, it's time.
honey, get the kids together.
The pool
Pack the
room,
bags.
the pool room at home would be fantastic. He'd have like 12
yeah.
Fitzpatrick Guernseys all around the room, just all from different teams.
And no Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, no, don't be silly.
Don't be stupid.
Seattle
He's never
Indy.
going to win one of them.
No way. Hey, Seattle went into Indianapolis and really took care of business in quite an emphatic fashion, really. Russell Wilson, chatting to a few people today, they felt that Russell looked a lot like Russell of a couple of years ago.
You know what he looked like? And the score was 28 Seattle to 16 Indianapolis, just for those who scoring enthusiasts.
Yep.
But he looked like how he looked in the first 5 weeks of last year, where Seattle started and Seattle dominated our power rankings all last year in the first half of the season.
He was the runaway MVP favourite.
He was flying, and that's what he looked like again. So I'm not going to completely buy Seattle yet. I want to see some consistency through more than 5 or 6 weeks this year. But we all tipped him right. Yep. 3 tips from the fellas. And we expected them to get it done. What we didn't expect at the time was Wentz to start.
Yeah.
No.
And that was probably the biggest surprise.
That was a surprise, yeah. I think if he hadn't, it would have been probably a little bit more ugly.
Correct.
Yeah, it could have easily been a lot uglier. That's for sure. Hey, New York Jets at Carolina. Zach Wilson made his debut here, but it was a story of Sam Darnold playing his old side and getting the chocolates here.
Yeah, I like these numbers, Blaze. 24 for 35, 279 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. And McCaffrey had 98 on the ground and 89 in the air.
Yeah, see, that's huge.
The one tweet I read from that game was that Christian McCaffrey's back.
Yeah.
And the best running back in the game is back.
Yeah, I knew he was back because I was playing against him in fantasy and it was bad.
Had to be a day. But no, well, take away from that game what you will. The score, 14 New York Jets to 19 at Carolina. For mine, Zach Wilson played a lot better than I would have expected him to play, so you have to give him some credit.
Didn't embarrass himself.
No, he didn't, but still, he plays for the New York Jets. We know how that story goes.
Yeah.
But Carolina, I would have liked him to do a little bit more damage at home against the Jets. But I reckon as the pieces come back together, the new quarterback, new system, Christian McCaffrey back.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit to gel.
Yeah. So got the job done. And once again, 3 tips from the fellas.
Yep, safe on that one. Minnesota at Cincinnati, and the comeback story of Joe Burrow really came to fruition here with a 27-24 win in overtime.
Yes.
So that was a really
first overtime of the season.
Correct. It was a very hotly contested contest, if you don't mind that one. But obviously the big story coming out of it is Burrow being back, and he took some more hits today. Yeah,
for mine as well. Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Jamar's is cool. He looked great. He
did look great.
You know what he reminded me of? Another LSU product who he was playing against, Justin Jefferson, in his first few games last year, where he absolutely tore the game to shreds. Yep. The connection that him and Burrow had was just almost match winning for mine, and that connection for the next decade. Mate, Cincinnati fans might finally have something to smile about.
That's the funny part. Like, there was all the things going about how he's having lots of drops in training, and because the ball's different, it doesn't have the white circles on the end like it does in college. And he was saying he having issues catching the ball, couldn't see it properly. He had 5 catches for 101 yards on his debut. Like, it's not a bad day.
Maybe he was playing funny buggers a little bit.
Yeah, it did feel a bit like that. Maybe he was just what's the word? Just mucking around.
Leading them on?
Yeah, having them on.
I think the main thing for me, and we discussed it on the show last week, was the question around that pick and the pick that got used to get Jamar Chase instead of a tackle. I think betting on the relationship with Burrow and Chase from their days at LSU, I think if that's your dress rehearsal for what could be the next 10 or so years, you'd be pretty chuffed.
He only missed 7 throws today, Burrow, as well. Only attempted 27, but to only not hit 7
You know what that is, though? That's perfect. Because remember last year, his first game
he
was
threw like 50 times.
Yeah, I was going to say 45 was the number that hit mine. But
Mixon had 29 rush attempts for 127 yards.
It was good to see the balance,
Yeah.
which was something we were asking for last year. We're like, look, you're just praying for him to get hit. But the other thing you got to remember with Chase quickly is he sat out last year. So this is his first game of football in over 12 months.
Makes it even crazier.
So
at NFL level for the first time.
Yeah, I know.
It's huge. Absolutely huge. He's going to be a really exciting product for a long time there, and obviously Joe Burrow already is, but will continue to be. Arizona at Tennessee. Probably, I'm going to go out here a little bit, probably the upset of the weekend in terms of, if not the result.
The way it was done.
The way it was done, definitely. And Kyler Murray really, I guess, again, our previous show, we were questioning, Kyler probably has to go now.
Put the hot torch on him.
Yep, and he certainly did.
He went, yeah. I mean, I've always been a big supporter.
Yes,
And
I don't think we've ever badmouthed him or bashed him.
No, we just said they were up and down like a yo-yo last year, weren't they?
Yeah.
But the numbers today were fantastic.
Huge.
4 touchdowns, almost 300 yards, only the 1 pick. Christian Kirk had a good day too.
Yeah.
I think he had 2 touchdowns. He did too, and Hopkins had 2 as well. One of the catches was fantastic.
Hopkins for mine, I think, is just a really. We're talking Gronk and Brady scary hours. I think DeAndre Hopkins being in that kind of nick early.
Yeah,
he was in some serious touch.
That was outrageous. The story of this game though is the 5 sacks from Chandler Jones.
I was going to say the best player on the field today was he started the first quarter with 3.
Yeah.
Like Tannehill was just seeing ghosts from there, seeing shadows.
And 2 forced fumbles in those 5 as well, I believe.
Might have. I guarantee he's had 1, but the thing that sometimes if you don't know much about NFL players, obviously you might hear 5 sacks and you think, oh, that's not that great. Well, like the record for sacks on the year is 22.5, I think. Yeah. So he's on on track to break that in 5
By week
games.
5.
He's already
And that-
nabbed a fifth of
I'll
it.
give you a guarantee right now
And
that
there's-
won't happen.
And there's already an extra game this year.
Yeah,
So he's
true.
got one extra game to get that record.
I saw the poor old bloke. I don't know what his name was playing. I think it's Taylor Lewan.
Taylor Wan.
Yeah.
And he's not a bad
He's
tackle.
not a slouch.
Wasn't he back from an injury?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a dirty day, the poor bloke.
Yeah.
But, game respects
And
game.
he called himself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chandler Jones is a serious force in this league. He has
Yeah.
been for a while.
He's been one of the top 5 in sacks the last 4 years in the NFL.
Kind of goes under the radar with,
Yeah, 'cause you're in Arizona.
with Donald and,
He's not the
Clowney
most
in
famous
years gone
person in
by.
his family either.
Garrett, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
John
Yeah.
Jones.
John Jones.
Yeah.
Right. Is he related to him, is he?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Brothers.
There you go.
Yeah,
Is that the USC guy?
Arthur Jones is the other one who played at Tennessee,
Yeah,
I believe.
so he played
But
at
he's
Tennessee as well.
retired.
Yeah.
Talented family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to get on Chandler's bad side, and for that matter, definitely not John's.
No.
San Francisco at Detroit, taking care of business here. But
Got
Detroit,
close late.
yeah,
So-
Detroit kind of fought hard.
The scoreboard was 41, San Francisco 33, and
Yep.
it's not an accurate reflection of how the game was going. They were down big time, Detroit.
Yeah, they were.
And
Yeah.
they got a lot of junk time points.
16-3 in the last quarter.
16-3. They put the cue in the rack, San Fran, and they had the game won well and truly before the fourth had even started.
Yeah. Although they did have the ball with 50 seconds.
I know,
to
which
go.
would have
Yeah.
made a lot of San Francisco fans scared, especially given how good their defense actually is. So,
If the one shining light I will say for Detroit today was Swift, the running back they drafted last year. So only had 39 yards on the ground from 11 attempts, but had 8 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
So that's a really good dual threat weapon out of the background.
And that's something Jared Goff's going to need to lean on. Yeah. I'm not
well, that's
so
when he was
sure about that
successful,
one.
right? He had Todd
Backfield,
Gurley.
Correct.
Backfield is what I
Yeah,
was trying to
that's
say.
exactly right. It's exactly right.
Someone who had a dirty day was my mate Jeff. Jeff
Yeah.
Okuda.
He did.
Poor
I
bloke.
kind of touched on it a bit before. He got absolutely.
He got one of
reamed
these
out.
ones.
Yeah,
And
he got told.
and then a few plays later, hurt his Achilles and walked off.
Yeah, so
So-
I don't know what's going on there, but the pick 3 from 2 drafts ago.
From the OSU, the Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's gonna,
Ohio State, sorry.
Ohio State, yeah.
Yeah.
they've got some issues there.
Debo
Sure.
Samuel had 189 yards.
Had a large day.
today.
Had a huge day.
That's a good day.
Yeah, no, he
Just
he's,
the one touchdown though, you'd be flat.
he's floating around in my fantasy side.
Yeah,
Has done
well,
for a couple
you'd
of
be-
years.
you'd
and
be
that's
wrapped
good.
with that.
Yep.
If I was being a neutral to most games, as a San Francisco fan, you'd almost be left with a bad taste in your mouth.
You would a little bit.
I think
Yeah.
Because you are up big time, right? And then you're up against Detroit as well, with Jared Goff as your quarterback.
Yep.
Like you'd be thinking,
No weapons.
nah, we should easily do this.
Yeah.
And it was going that way. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit.
Particularly
Like-
when they hang their hat on their defense.
Yeah.
And I think, they kind of live and die by that, that front four and Nick Bosa being back in there. I think D Ford's still coming off the edge. So, that would hurt. I think you bang on. I think that would leave a sour taste in your mouth.
So hopefully we see some more consistency or a 4-quarter effort next week in the Niners game. But, we'll get to that when they play Philly next week, I believe.
I think it's Philly.
But anyways,
Hey, speaking of sour
Yeah,
taste in
that's
your mouth, this one might have hurt a little bit. Pittsburgh
Yeah.
with the upset in Buffalo week 1. They
So-
took it out 23-16.
Quite a defensive game here.
Yeah.
Not very exciting on the offensive side of the ball.
both teams are quite good on defense, so this wasn't
Yeah.
unexpected. But the Buffalo Bills offense, on the back of last year, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen's connection,
Really struggled.
everyone just thought that the Buffalo Bills were going to get this done. So it hit the heartstrings a bit. I did reach out to the sponsor, the Jersey Cartel, to organise a jersey during the week, and I asked him for a Josh Allen one. Still going to go through with it.
Yeah. Got you,
so-
mate. Yeah.
I don't know. I just
no baby out with the bathwater just yet.
if they lose next week.
It is.
You'll be
It's upsetting at home.
Yeah.
Well, they go into Miami next week, and they could be 0-2.
Yeah. It's an interesting one.
For me, though, the question still remains with Pittsburgh. I mean, this is obviously a very
I'd
good
written them
result.
off.
Very good result for them.
Cam Jordan played well.
He did. He did. And I think, getting the job done in Buffalo week 1, like a lot of people, kind of sheepish on Pittsburgh, but you can only beat what's put in front of you. And your first week, you take down one of the fancies for the AFC.
That's true, Blaze. What about this next result?
Yeah, well, this
Serious upset.
blew the pants off everyone except me who tipped them.
Yeah,
The
done well
Philadelphia
there.
Eagles, our very own Jersey Cartel, they rolled into Atlanta and won 32-6.
Yeah.
Stymie defense and Jalen Hurts and the boys down there just got it done.
Jalen Hurts had a good game,
Yeah.
which I did not see coming.
If his name wasn't Jalen Hurts and it was like Trevor Lawrence or one of the other young rookies put up numbers like that, everyone would be losing their mind on social media.
I mean, he has had a year to get used to it, but
he didn't even play the full year last year.
Yeah.
He had time in the system. You are right.
3 touchdowns and no picks though, and 264 yards. He looked good today.
And it's just game control
27
too.
on 35, I see there too. That's a good completion percentage.
Take it with a grain of salt because it is Atlanta's defense.
Yeah,
but,
true.
So I think the more crazy thing here is that Philly only gave up 6.
Yes.
Like Atlanta's offense last season wasn't the issue.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we
defense,
know Julio's out of there now. How'd Calvin go on the day?
he had 5 for 51 blows. So
and Kyle Pitts
nothing
on
massive.
debut?
Yeah, only 4 for 31. So they
Okay.
really struggled to get anything going all day today. Matt Ryan only had 164 yards.
Yes.
Yeah, it
And
was
I
a
reckon
good day
before
for
the
Matty
game,
Ice.
everyone would have been taking the overs on that line.
It's an upset. I mean, it
definitely
doesn't
an
garner
upset.
heaps of interest in terms of NFC prospect, but it is a win.
No.
And the Jersey Cartel is the fantastic long-time serving sponsor of this show. And when the Philadelphia Eagles do something good, we are going to show them love.
Yeah, he should be proud. They played well. Good game to watch. Philadelphia gives you a bit of maybe false hope.
Definitely.
Hopefully for Philadelphia fans, it's not false hope. But for Atlanta fans, roll into Tampa Bay, I believe, next week.
Could
Well,
be. Yeah, they
yeah.
are. Yeah.
Could be 2 back-to-back double-digit losses.
Could be
Yeah,
dirty.
it could be ugly.
Could be a dirty
Now,
start.
Blaze, I wish I had the crown on me here for this next one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Green Bay New Orleans
Yeah,
matchup.
I'd give it to you.
Yeah.
You're the only guy, I reckon. Only one that followed him.
Famous Jameis.
I don't know. I was a bit worried about Green Bay and all the off-season
think
stuff.
You need to give the score here
Yeah, it was
to give context.
absolutely. It was 3 for Green Bay to 38 New Orleans. So Jameis put up 5 tubs on just 148 yards. He was very efficient.
Yeah.
He was very
Accurate.
very
The
accurate.
off-season eye surgery helps.
He's a walking advertisement for laser eye surgery at the
he
minute.
is.
But
You might have to go see his doctor.
actually, yeah, because if we get any lower down this list, I'm not going to be able to see the score full stop. But he made very, very few missed passes.
He was good.
He didn't have Michael Thomas today.
He had one, I reckon it was a 50-yard touchdown as well. So really,
That big
after
bomb.
that, after that, he only had like 100 yards for the day. But they really didn't need him to do anything more.
So the question for me coming out of this becomes, is this saying? I mean, obviously, Green Bay. This is a very interesting time for them, and what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, and the body language of Aaron Rodgers. And all the
Love
rest of
came
it.
on.
Yeah,
If you're telling me on week 1 that Green Bay's put up 3 points, Aaron Rodgers is throwing 2 interceptions, and then Love would see the field in the fourth quarter against famous Jameis, who would have 5 tuds and 0 picks, I'd be telling you, look, mate,
put the
go back to Glenside.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
put that little pipe down. I think.
Yeah,
it was a bizarre game.
They didn't have 1 third down conversion until Jordan Love came in. They were 1 for 10 on the day.
So my question becomes.
Two interceptions and 1 fumble.
My question becomes, what is going on in Green Bay?
I have no idea.
Going to be? Is this Aaron Rodgers chucking a fit and being like, nah? Because last year he threw 5 picks for the year. He threw 2 today.
Yeah. Mate, he's halfway there to his last season's total already. I just think he's got too much pride he's not that type of player who to throw a tantrum and
You
get
think?
out of it. I don't think he would do that.
To force himself out now.
I don't think he would have done that. But
You're hurting your,
personally,
you're
I
hurting
don't
your
think he
legacy
would.
doing that, aren't
Yeah.
I agree. Don't get me wrong. I think I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate.
I think it was
a
just a
little
very dirty day for
Yeah.
everyone involved with that Green Bay
bit.
organisation.
Maybe a bit too much sun with Shailene
Maybe-
Woodley over the off season.
Maybe he should have rocked up to training.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what
they
I'm
didn't
saying.
seem to be on the same page.
Spent a fair bit of time with
One
Shailene in Hawaii.
more
Pete
time, please.
Pete Davidson down there. They're all having a merry old time, and
Oh.
he's rocked up in New Orleans.
TMZ with BT.
Yeah. TMZ with NFL.
Don't mind. Yeah, good. Yeah, very good.
Pun. But anyways,
New Orleans look good though. I think that's another
Yeah,
important part.
and
of
And
it.
now they've got one of their 5 wins that I'd given them for the year. Or no, it's out of 6. I gave them 6. Yeah.
And that's one they wouldn't have got.
Yeah.
going to Carolina next week too.
Yeah,
And
I'm very interested for that game.
that's going to actually be quite the game. They also signed Lattimore as well.
Yeah, locked
To
them
a
away
long-
on a massive deal.
Yeah, so that's good. Like their defense is good. They've got some pieces on offense. We mentioned they'd go how James would go. James didn't even have to do much today, and he still
he
went
didn't.
well. So want to see him challenged because when he gets challenged in one of those shootouts, that's where his
Yeah.
accuracy tended to.
It's not.
Yeah.
You can't
When he has
tick
to
it,
improvise and
you
force.
can't tick it off just yet as he's going to be a superstar because of the only had 150 yards and only threw it 20 times. But I mean, he couldn't have done much more today, could he? Really? Like,
I mean, this
they
is
still
a
put
bloke-
up 38.
This is a bloke that threw the 7th most ever yards in a season.
I think people were very harsh on him.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think his first few years at Tampa as a rookie, he was actually pretty good. They got to the playoffs with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just had that last season where he went 40 for 40 and everyone just like blew their mind. Then no one could understand, but he signed at the Saints. And he is a bit of a visionary himself. Like, we know how, into all of that stuff he is, but he's gone, I'm going to go there and that's going to be my future at that team. I'm not going to bounce around and just take money and go play for average teams. He saw a hole there, he took it, and now it's his opportunity, and he's taken it.
If you go back,
if he plays like this, he's going to get paid.
If you go back in the
100%.
archives, you'll find one BT NFL, whatever you want to call him, did say that going to New Orleans was a great move in terms of having the keys to the kingdom once Drew Brees eventually does go.
It looks like you've nailed that one.
Early.
Also,
from 1 week, you're spot on.
shout out to Drew Brees as well for being able to take the piss out of himself.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
brilliant.
The tweet that he said, what was he said? Like,
Finally, they've got a quarterback that can throw the
Throw
ball
it.
downfield.
that's great.
Which
Good on
is,
him.
that's good banter.
Which is a good point, though.
Yeah.
Going from good things to bad things.
Yeah, this was boring as batshit. Denver
I need to touch on this too.
beat the Giants. I think that says 27-13. Correct me if I'm wrong there,
Yeah.
Chucky.
It does.
But yeah, obviously Denver got the job done here.
Yeah.
Not a lot of faith shown in Denver from
No.
the tipsters from us.
I'm
but
a bit flack because I had the Giants winning the division and it doesn't look like they're going to get anywhere near that at the
Yeah, it
moment.
was a very disappointing result for them.
I have grave fears for I don't want to overreact, and if I'm going to have an overreaction about this round, it's going to be for the Giants.
Yep.
Slammer just said he had them tipped to do quite well this season.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones looked really average, much
Yeah.
like the rest of the team. Saquon came back, didn't do much, maybe a bit of football rust or something like that. But mate, if Daniel Jones isn't your quarterback, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if they play like that, they'll be having a high pick, so they'll be able to address it.
But it's just going to be a season that with Jim Stems like splittering and
It's
spattering.
nothing
just
season,
Nothing,
yeah.
yeah.
This is what we've talked about before.
But it is only week 1. Let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
Weird
Yeah,
things
I
happen
did say
week
let's
one.
not overreact too much, but
Yeah.
this is my biggest
I mean,
takeaway from the round.
Houston won. Jacksonville won last year.
Yeah.
Weird things happen in week 1.
Yes, this is true. This is true.
Yeah.
But we have mentioned in the past as well that there does come a time where you've got to put your foot in the ground and say, this franchise actually stands for something. And the Giants are an absolute laughingstock.
You know why I really thought the Giants were going to win this weekend?
Why is that, mate?
In New York, on the 20-year anniversary of 9/11, I thought that would have been a
something in it.
massive flag in
Yeah.
the ground moment.
Mm.
Bit of camaraderie.
Americans love that patriotism stuff.
Patriotism, yeah.
Yeah,
I wish
so
you didn't bring it up.
I was shocked at the showing.
Yeah. You'd expect a bit of heart.
Yeah,
I think it's probably the takeaway
a little bit more
there.
pride in
Yeah.
the jersey sort of thing. Yeah. The
think
next
it's-
game was a bit of snoozer as well.
Oh, it's not getting much better.
No.
Back to back on this one. Miami did knock off New England by the solitary points, 17-16.
Cheers for the tip.
There was New England were driving. Mac Jones was taking them down the field.
Yeah.
In the fourth, and then they just fumbled it.
His numbers were actually pretty good.
of
the rookie quarterbacks, his are probably the best. He
Yes.
had 29 for 39, 281 yards and 1 touchdown against that Miami defense.
Yeah.
That's probably the standout quarterback
With not a lot
performance
of help
week
in the
one.
receiver room as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, yeah.
I don't even think
Very
Kill
little.
Harry played, and we've been calling him out for 3 years now. But
Nelson Aguilar had 72 yards. Nobody else had over 50.
Yeah. So what I did like from him today, like the fumble happened. Yeah. He's running off and he didn't get disappointed. There's still like 2 minutes on the clock to go, and he's getting around everyone saying, "Come on, like we can still do this. We can still do this." So it just shows you he's that leadership capability, and it looks like Bill and his merry men in the front office up there have made the right decision.
It's a perfect word, Charles. You
go
said
with
it.
him.
It's leadership, and
Yeah.
I think when adversity comes like that, and you're a kid, like you're playing your first game, and you're prepared to put yourself out there like that, try and inspire guys that have been bound. Like Nelson Aguilar's on that side, and he's played a fair bit of NFL football. Let alone guys like James White who've been there, done that. Like, and Mac Jones being the quarterback, being the guy, had to stand up and say, "Look, it's not going our way right now, but we're still in this. We've got a chance."
Well,
I think that's huge.
People have tipped them as a sneaky wild card option. I will say it's going to be harder if they lose divisional games like that to Miami.
Yeah.
It's going to make it a lot harder.
Definitely.
But on the flip side, quite good for Miami, I think.
Yeah.
Get that job done.
Anytime you go into Foxborough,
Tua was okay. No, it was in Miami. Was it?
No, I was in Foxborough.
Oh, it was in Foxborough. Oh, that's even better for Miami.
It's all right getting you.
There you go. It was the other way
Goes
around
like-
on the thing.
Yeah, it's
there you go.
fine.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It happens.
we'll get through that. One thing I saw a funny tweet during the week,
Yep.
and it was about that during the preseason, Mac Jones was having to teach Cam Newton the playbook,
Oh,
Yeah, I did see that.
and then I was like, weird.
that's a concern.
Yeah, I know.
Did you see that Mac Jones is apparently making his girlfriend run plays in the backyard.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's a relationship founded in something that's just going to go the distance, I reckon.
And it
She's
also
prepared to
shows
do
that the guy really cares.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Cleveland at KC. Now, this was brooding very ominously. Ominously?
I ain't going to correct you.
Cheyenne Woodley.
At halftime here. Kansas struggling to get the game on their terms, and as we kind of alluded to, Nick Chubb was kind of doing as he pleased.
They were doing pretty much as they pleased on offense most of the game, Blaze.
True.
Especially in the first half. Really did whatever the hell they wanted. Tyrann Mathieu and Frank the Shark Clark were both out, but we might have been a tad lucky to win this one.
I think so.
So for context, the score was 29 to Cleveland to 33 at Kansas City.
Yep.
At Kansas City too, and Cleveland were up for the majority of the game.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
well-
did have to take some brilliance from the offense.
Yeah, outscored them 23-7 in the second half
Yeah.
to win by 4.
It took
so-
the Infinity Stones being put together there. Mahomes, Kelsey,
Travis.
and Hill.
yeah.
Those three coming
Yeah.
together just got it done. I mean, that 75-yard bomb, one play strike to Tyreek Hill to get back in the contest, and
That's-
then the short field turnover, not a turnover. Well, yeah, turnover on downs with the punt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's not really turnover on downs, but
No, it is.
kind of worked out that way.
Fourth
And then
down.
Kelsey went straight in, and then we're up. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the game.
That's the way football is now, though, Blaze. It's not the days of 15 years ago when the idea is 15 plays, like drawn out 10-minute possessions. You need to have the ability to score quickly on 1 to 3 play drives, and just flip a game on its head. If you don't have that over the top ability now and the ability to score quick,
If you can't score in within 20
points,
seconds, 3
yeah,
plays.
it's just it's a skill that some people have and other teams just lack, and it's a huge difference. And Cleveland today, I really liked how they played the whole game.
Yeah.
They were aggressive. They went for it on 4th down. That's also the way the NFL's transitioning. If you're inside 40 yards, everyone's just going for it now.
Yeah.
It's like people know that field goals don't win games anymore.
Yeah.
You got to put 7 on the board.
Yep.
Because it's too easy to score.
Especially in those kind of matchups. What I found, call it interesting, call it amazing, everyone and their dog knew that Tyreek Hill was the Wanwood in that receiving core.
Yeah.
And Hardman, Robinson, and Pringle all had quiet days. They still, no matter what they tried, couldn't stop him.
No,
and it was
197 yards.
And it was we're talking, just his ability and his speed and his agility all combines to this unstoppable connection with Mahomes at this point, where it's just like, well, how many yards can this guy go for in a single year when he's putting up 200 essentially in week one, when he's the only viable option?
Well, he's the only wide receiver.
Right, yeah, outside of Kelsey, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, interesting one you posed there. Just offering a different point of view on this game.
Yep.
If you're a Cleveland fan and you just woke up in the morning and saw the score was 29 to 33, you think, geez, we're in this game on
Competitive,
20.
yeah.
But if you're a Cleveland fan who watched this game, you'd be left with a bad taste in your
Yeah,
mouth going,
definitely.
we should have won that game.
Yeah.
And as you said, we know what their one-wood is. We know how
Yeah.
they're going to try to win this game. Let's just stop them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was-
Sometimes the best is just too hard to stop.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just beaten by better stuff.
And that's what I'm kind of saying. Like,
Yeah.
how can you cover Tyreek Hill over the course of a whole game when Mahomes scrambles, you can throw the ball across his body 50 yards right onto his chest after Tyreek Hill does like 3 or 4
Yeah,
double moves?
if you can get to the quarterback and stop him,
If you don't give him
If you
time,
if you give Mahomes 6 seconds and someone's got to cover Tyreek Hill in coverage 1-on-1 for 6 seconds, you got no hope.
You need
you got no
you need
hope.
you
some
can get
kind
55 yards down the field within that time
Yeah.
and make a move.
you
And
need some
Mahomes can
kind
throw
of
it 70 yards.
And that's what happened in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
They got to Mahomes.
They got to him quickly.
They
yeah.
made him scramble, didn't
Yeah.
have time. So
with an element of QB
And
contained.
they were able to get there with 4 or 5
Yeah.
rather than with 7. So it wasn't 1-on-1. It was
yeah, because if
You
you
were-
if
they
you get
had
there
the
with
numbers
4,
in
you
the
drop the
secondary.
7 back.
Yeah.
and then you cover more.
You've
of the
got
field
7
too.
on 4.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Hey, it was a good
Mass.
it was
It was a good game.
It was a good game. It was probably one of the picks of the weekend.
It's also one of those, didn't have your best game, but you're a good team and you found a way to win
Yep.
when you probably didn't deserve
You called
to.
it as well. You said we don't lose in September,
Yeah.
and you won.
And
Cleveland continue to lose
Yeah.
in week 1.
They have won, since coming back into the league, they have won 1 season opener. They are 1-21-1.
that's amazing.
Wild.
Yeah, since 99. That's pretty bad.
That hurts. And Mahomes
Yeah.
didn't throw a pick again. So
Yeah.
his September Mr. September credentials continue.
Yeah, and 3 TDs.
And 3 TDs.
Love to see.
Last game of the round.
Last game of the round so far, anyway, was the Bears heading into SoFi and the LA Rams. Rams get it done here, 34-14.
We can probably keep this one quick.
I thought so.
Jared Goff, you are not missed at all.
No.
Matt
20 for
Stafford
26.
is home.
And probably thanked for being gone.
Oh, he's Stafford, like that throw, was it like a 55-yard touchdown throw that he had where he
Had a
just
couple.
aired the thing out
Yeah.
to Cooper Cup. Oh, that like
He
that,
had 2 over 60-yarders, I
yeah.
reckon.
That just showed you what they were missing with Goff. Like
Yeah.
Goff's accuracy wasn't great downfield, his arm strength wasn't great. Although he played well in Detroit today, over the course of the season, you're not going to get that from
They're
him.
only going to get better as well.
Oh yeah.
321 yards, 3 TDs, no picks.
Yeah.
Like
Safe as to
156 passer rating. Best one ever for a player that got traded in week 1.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How about that?
And the Bears' defense is no snooze either. They're pretty good
No.
on defense. That was their one wood last year,
Yeah,
playing
definitely.
defense. So
Definitely.
the score was 14-34 there.
My only point here would be that they're going to miss, they're going to rue that Cam Akers injury. I think that
They've still got like Darrell Henderson and
I just think that
They
balance.
didn't even use Sony Michel today.
No, they didn't
Yeah.
use Sonny Michel.
I just think it's a watch. I think a really good running game to complement that would have it would have really rounded
It was
this out.
a career best passer rating for him today.
Oh, really?
Career best.
Well, we did say he's playing with the best lineup he ever has. So, and the likes of Cooper Kupp and, as you quite rightly say, they bat deep at receiver. They bat pretty well at tight end too. Just quietly, Tyler Higbee had a good game.
He
So-
did have a good game. Just for clarification as well, a good passer rating is over 100, and he had 156. That's ludicrous.
And Aaron Rodgers today.
I think he had about 20.
Yeah, it was apparently it was sub what you would get if you just took the ball and spiked it every time. His passer rating.
Well,
So
that's
Fair enough.
it's unbelievable. I don't know how that even
There you
works,
go.
but that's what they're saying.
So that's the 15 games that have been played thus far.
Correct. We've got Baltimore at Las Vegas tomorrow
Tomorrow.
morning, Australian time. Probably about 12 hours off.
Covered that last week. We've all taken Baltimore.
Correct.
But for the tipping, I've somehow ended up in last place. So
Yep.
I'll have to chuck the hat on. I had got 8 out of 15.
Yep. Me and Slammer are on 9. So early doors, I'm sitting atop the ladder, tied, which is just good to know.
And the guarantee, no good for Slammer or the big guy over here.
Yeah.
I went down because I had Bucks at -7.5.
Yep.
I had the Niners at the money line tick, Panthers at the money line tick, Falcons at the money line,
Yep.
and Rams at the money line.
I had Seattle, San Fran, and the Rams at the money line, which all got up, and the Bucks -13, which did not get
so
up.
that was
pretty
the
flat
Big
on
miss
that.
in the end.
That was the result that kind of sunk both guarantees. Early doors on the
Leg one, loves it.
on the Thursday, which
Yeah.
really deflated the spirit.
It is fun knowing your money's gone when there's still 3 games left in your multi.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
and it's 3.5
And
days away.
and it's Friday Arthur.
Yeah, that hurts. But
That's
we are looking forward to bringing you our next preview episode for week 2. We've got that lined up and we'll be completing that very soon. So stay tuned to all the socials and your YouTube and podcast channels, subscribe functions and all the rest of it, because our content will be coming to you soon.
He's been Slim. I've been Slam. That's the Bandwagon fan. Good night.